Choose 3 cards, past, present, future.
So the first card I chose was the Chariot, and one of the interpretations of that is overcoming obstacles. And that immediately made me think of my father, who throughout his whole life has had immense ability to overcome obstacles. And that has been very much an influence in my upbringing, and indeed a big influence in the way that you've been brought up. He bought you your first digital camera. I bought you your first 35mm camera. And I actually don't think you'd have become a filmmaker had it not been for that generational influence. Another interpretation of the card, the Chariot, is direction. And that made me recall a friend of mine, Martin, who I met when I was about 16, and he brought up 3 wonderful children. And so I very much modelled the way I approached bringing you up based on the way Martin brought his children up. So the second card I picked was the Star, and one of the interpretations of the Star is feeling truly blessed by the universe on this day, and that inevitably reminded me of the day you were born. When you were actually born, I didn't feel terribly emotional in the way that many fathers might. You know, I wasn't crying or drinking beer or calling all my friends. My main recollection is how tiny your hands and feet were. Although you were there physically, I didn't feel fatherhood. That came a few weeks later when, in European tradition, a young infant is moved from their parents' bedroom to sleep in a separate room. And I recall leaving you in the room and closing the door, and you cried and cried and cried for hours. And I was sat outside the room feeling this sense of just complete dread and emotion about how upset my child was. And I think that was probably the first time that I've really felt like a father. The impact of the responsibility of fatherhood really hit me when you were about 4 months old. In March 2004, the division of the company I worked for in the UK was shut down, and I was basically given 2 weeks to move to the US. We took the choice to move you at that age all the way from Europe to the US. In preparation for making this film, we spent a lot of time looking through photographs from when you were born until the present day, of which there are very, very many. And so many of the photographs that feature just you and I, we're laughing, and we're not just laughing for photographic effect, we're laughing our heads off at something. And it made me realise how much of our life together during your development has been spent laughing together, laughing at each other, laughing at ourselves. And I'm so grateful for what that has given me as a father during your development. The third card I chose was the World, and one of the interpretations of that is inexorable change, which took me to a thought train of it's not long before you'll be leaving your childhood home and becoming independent. And to what extent have I as a father helped you to become independent? We've had the joy or the fear and the anxiety of you learning to drive with me in the passenger seat. And that has been a thoroughly enjoyable experience. And I recall the first time that we drove round, you keep swerving to avoid prairie dogs that look like they might get out on the road. In the theme of laughing together, we've actually had more fun learning to drive together than we've had fear. and that's been great. And then of course there's the whole question of college, and sharing the excitement of deciding which college to go to, and looking at scholarships and all the other things associated with applying for and attending college. You know, when you first came to me with this film concept and the cards and what have you, I was skeptical maybe, but it's taken a lot of work, and you know, as we reached the culmination of the project, I really just wanted to tell you how much fun I've had, and how it's bonded us in a way that so many of the experiences in our collective lives have. Looking back on your life today, I realise that it's evolved from me being your protector to me being your educator, through to me being your friend. And my major takeaway from that is that fatherhood never ends, it just changes.
A butterfly does not fly without her wings. At every 7:39 she checks to see if she's evolving, to see if she's recalling what she wanted to learn before her wings wither. Growing pains ask for a hand to hold, so the story is told as it's told. You started out as my protector and grew into my educator, now you are my friend. A father that taught me not to abide by the rules, but to use my wings to see the softness of the cerulean sky, to look the sun in the eyes on days it sheepishly hides behind big cumulus clouds. To be so sweet, the other butterflies confuse me for the honey of the bumblebees. This puts the butterfly at ease, because it is because of you that she knows she has her wings now, and that everything she does will turn out okay. With the love that you bring, she finally unfolds her wings.